ready, get some tunes on. Connect to Bluetooth real quick. Okay guys, we're back with another video. Today we are doing a much needed upgrade for the 1996 Acura Integra. If you guys aren't familiar with the car already, it is a full amenity K24 swap. That means power steering, air conditioning, full interior. It looks OEM all the way on the outside, but it's lacking in a car stereo. So our friends over at One Car Stereo actually reached out to us and got us hooked up with their new touchscreen double-din because our old one just really wasn't cutting it. So we have their new unit right here. This is Android, Bluetooth, USB, USB-C, SD card, everything compatible. We're gonna be using an install kit today by Metra. This is their whole framework to actually position the radio in place and not have to worry about it bouncing around, as well as Metra's wire harness to actually have it communicate to the rest of the car. So let's go ahead and get some of this stuff unboxed. We're gonna be showing you a step-by-step installation, this radio onto this 96 Acura Integra. Hopefully by the end of it, we'll be jamming out, banging gears, and having a good time. Okay, so first things first, the most important part of it, the radio right here. Like I said, it's a touchscreen doubled-in, and looks like we have a couple instructions for installation. Looks like they also have a manual, navigation. Oh, that's pretty cool, navigation, GPS, that's always fun. Aux in, front camera, rear camera, output and input. So a whole bunch of nice features right there. It does come with a good assortment of wiring for accessories if you'd like to do those cameras. Has adapters here for more USBs, a mic in, and now to the important part. So a lot of times in the aftermarket, you'll see these doubled-in radios are very slim versions, and you'll see those really tiny ones that have awful resolution, or you have the ones that are really flimsy. This is a full face, full body doubled-in, so this is one of the higher quality units. It's not the ones that'll fail after a couple weeks, so we're really excited to be using that one right there. As for the installation, we wanted to go with Metra products. These are notorious for being very, very high quality. So these are some of the bracketries that you'll be using. Has options for different types of radios, and then the full face doubled-in display adapter, which is the trim that will go over the face of the radio just like that, and it completes the interior trim. They also make this wiring harness kit, and they do have different models. This one is specifically for Acura and Honda, as you can imagine. And this will be the adapter for you to run wiring harness from the radio to the OEM wiring harness that you have in your car. With any stereo installation, the most important part will always be the wiring. Right in front of us, we have two wiring harnesses, the adapters. This right here is what Metra supplies as an adapter to an OEM Acura Integra connector. And then this right here is the wiring loom that's included with the car stereo. You'll see right here, the car stereo's wiring is fully labeled. What I like doing just as a little bit of a precaution is going through and verifying that everything matches. So in this instance, you'll verify the black is ground for both wiring harnesses. Let's say, for example, the left rear positive is this green wire. You'll go through this wiring harness and double check that the schematic says also that same color for the same side, and do it so on and so forth for every other color. We've gone ahead and verified that this is all the same. So now what we'll do is begin connecting these wires. There's different methods that you can do it. Some people prefer the crimp method with a butt connector, and other people prefer the soldering method. So our wiring harness is fully soldered, heat shrunk, and ready to go. There were some extra wires that you can use for additional inputs. We're not using any of these at this time, so what we did was just get some heat shrink, heat it up, and then press the ends. That way those won't be exposed. But this is all ready to go. We can go ahead and set this off to the side. Now, we'll move over to our Metra installation kit. Since this is a doubled in, we went with a doubled in kit, obviously. Now, this is the main trim piece that's gonna go around the housing of the radio. Right here, the instructions will tell us exactly what clips to cut and what clips to keep. This can be used for different applications, so you wanna make sure to follow these instructions. If you have a different car, then there are different methods about going about it, and it tells you where to cut accordingly. So, that being said, we'll follow the instructions, cut this up, and get the trim mocked up. For the other brackets, we went ahead and removed the tabs as they're not necessary for the Acura Integra, but obviously, as always, you're gonna wanna follow the guidelines for your specific application. Now, there is included hardware that comes with Metra's install kits, so you're gonna wanna make sure to incorporate all of it. In this case, we have a countersunk screw that's getting installed onto these side plates that go to that forward bezel. And you just wanna follow the instructions. This is all real simple stuff in terms of installation compared to some of the wiring, but it is tedious work as the hardware is very small, and it's also easy to strip these plastic pieces if you're used to working on stuff with like metal bolts and metal flanges and stuff like that. So be gentle, don't over tighten. It's kind of just holding itself in place at this point. Once that's on there, we're gonna go ahead and install that face onto the radio. And then we're gonna start by putting these set screws that are also provided into the body. And if you see right here, you'll see some holes that overlap with mounting hardware areas on that tab. And you wanna run the included hardware into those spots. There we go. Side pieces are installed to that front plate. Front plate is tightened down. Side pieces are tightened down to the body of the radio, and we're good to walk over to the car. Now, this extra cage that comes already pre-installed in the radio is removed with these little tools. Just run it across the side and these clips disengage. We're not using that for this install, but it's just important to note that's how it works. We're gonna go ahead and install our adapter first. That's gonna go right here plugged in. It'll click into place. And if you're running the antenna, you would go for this plug right here on the back, straight to this section right there. We'll be plugging in our wiring harness right there to the back of our radio. And right off the bat, I could hear my antenna start to engage. We'll try to fish this in a little closer. Once we get close, we'll plug the antenna onto the back. That's engaged. Now we're gonna put this into its cage. Okay, and there she is. She's fully in. Let's go ahead and power the key on. Okay, one car stereo. And we get the Android starting theme right there. So right off the bat, we have a couple different selections, radio. So you get all the benefits of having different types of apps while still being able to do CarPlay. We can go into our Spotify, we can go to our calls, back to the maps area. Couldn't even notice it was on there. Screen resolution was already so good. But yeah, so here we go. We have all the typical options that you'd get with a Google/Android type device. We have different ability for apps. I think we were looking at the equalizer a second ago, so we can do different settings, balance-wise, sound effects, EQ. You can have basically any configurable type of preset or different bass selections. You got the hertz right there, the percentage up there, reset it. They have a couple presets that get you set up without having to do any of the actual configuration yourself, and then full settings for you to really cater to how you'd like. We're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of music. See how high this radio can go. Wow, there's a bunch of different settings. What? Wow. The fade between sides, that's super impressive. Man, I gotta say, I'm extremely impressed with how this radio is functioning so far. We haven't even gone for a drive yet, and actually my phone is at, let's be exact, 5% battery, so we're definitely gonna put this USB charger to work. But I'm super happy with the actual quality of it. A lot of times when you get these aftermarket radios and they're touchscreen, you'll lose the quick touchscreen response. So some of them you'll like go like this and then it'll take a minute and then it'll finally swipe over. Whereas this one right here, you just have instantaneous movement as if you were on an actual iPhone or Android or some type of device like an iPad or something like that. So the response rate is super, super quick on it. The internal memory, I was messing with the settings a little bit ago and I think it said 28 gigabytes available. So that's really awesome if you want to store some music or some movies on here. I know that the next couple of days we're really going to be able to refine this, so I look forward to playing with this. But obviously we're a car channel and it wouldn't be a car video without us going to do some pulls. So while I'll be doing some updates on this radio on my Instagram in the next couple days, you guys can stay tuned to. Let's go out on the street and do a couple pulls. Check out this dimming feature on it. It comes into the wiring already. There's an output for it, so it realizes when you're dimming. We're gonna go ahead and do this USB-C connector. Not that, because that's for the SD card. My fault. Let's see how quick that connection is. Right there, charging 4%. Let's go ahead and go for a drive, guys. Check engine light there, boys, but good thing on our phone we have our Honda app. So let's go ahead and check to see what that fault code is. Code was for TPS sensor. And we can do a quick clear trouble code. Throttle percentage. So that's functioning. Guess we're good. Stock K24?
Yeah, that's good.
It's not bad, right? I unplugged the wiring for my car right there because I was doing a little pull, my hand on the shifter grabbed the cable. If I had to say that that's the only problem that I don't like with this shifter, that's nothing to worry about. I just keep my hand on the shifter rather than on there. But so far, this has been doing good. Little stock K24 makes a little bit of torque. Radio has not popped out or anything, and we're still completely good on function. Everything's looking really, really nice there. Should we do a little burnout?
Yeah.
A little burnout? Okay.
Yeah.
If I do a burnout, I'm gonna ask that you get out the car so you can record it. You okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see where we can go do a burnout. Jump in. Not too bad. And I just pulled out the charger again. I think I'm gonna have to get like a low profile 90-degree charger outlet for that. But man, it's pretty smoky, right?
Yes.
A second gear, you know, I have to feather the pedal a little bit. Not bad for a little 6-speed stock K24, little daily driver, and of course the radio still perfectly intact.
All right guys, that's enough burnouts and pulls for tonight. We're pretty much wrapped up on the radio install, so if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you for watching. For those of you who aren't familiar with the car, let's go ahead and pop the hood on this. I know most of the subscribers are already, but if you're here specifically for the install, then you might not be familiar with this. This is our 1996 Acura Integra, and it has a K24 JDM-A engine. This thing puts out just over 200 horsepower and comes from a newer model Acura TSX, and it almost doubles the power that this thing made from the factory. Full amenities, AC, power steering, charge system, and obviously a nice stereo. And it is still a sleeper mode, so pollen and all, dust on the car, hubcap, stock suspension. This thing is a blast to drive, but it still has a nice OEM look. So if you guys are interested in any one car stereo items, make sure to go to the link down below. You'll see not only this specific radio, but the other variety of products that they have on their website. And huge thank you to One Car Stereo for taking care of us on this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and we'll see you next time. Peace.